Welcome to Travel with Sean. I'm Sean. Today we're in Beijing, China, visiting the Summer Palace. This was a palace built in the 1700s to be the winter residence for the Dowager Empress. And we're going to tour around, take a look at the beautiful scenery and the pretty buildings. When you arrive at the Summer Palace, you're greeted by the Sumeru Spiritual Ensemble, also called the Four Great Regions. It was built in Tibetan style as a Buddhist place of worship for the Dowager Empress, who was the emperor's widowed mother. I felt like a celebrity when I was asked to pose with this couple. As you ascend the tall flight of stairs to the Sumeru Temple, remember that the effort is to remind you of the spiritual ascent to heaven. There's a beautiful view from the top of this temple. Dragons were the ultimate symbol of the emperor. Here, one even carries a rider, perhaps the emperor himself, a reminder of how dragons were thought to connect the ruler to the heavens. It's no easy feat climbing these steps, but remember that it wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to represent the human struggle to ascend to heaven. Four Great Regions is the largest complex of classical Tibetan Buddhist buildings in Beijing, and is so called because it's divided into four sections. The Long Corridor, also known as the Long Gallery, was built in 1750 on the order of Emperor Qianlong as a rain shelter corridor for his mother, Dowager Empress Chongqing. With the walkway, she could wander leisurely to enjoy theater performances or lakeside views, rain or shine, without needing an umbrella or a sedan chair. It was partially destroyed by war twice, in 1860 and 1900. Each restoration was intended to maintain and or restore its historical appearance. It was listed in the 1990 Guinness Book of World Records as the world's longest gallery. In total, it has 273 rooms, which is the space supported between two pairs of pillars, spanning 796 yards in length, with over 14,000 paintings found both in the middle of the crossbeams and on the sides. It has 546 one-of-a-kind paintings of southern China landscapes, flowers, birds, pavilions, and towers. Due to this impressive collection, it has earned the title the Museum of Colored Paintings. Crafted using raw mineral colors, they not only add to the aesthetic value, but also serve a practical purpose by protecting the wood structures from the effects of insects, rain, wind, and sunlight, thereby ensuring their long-lasting durability. The corridor's design also frames views of the gardens and Kunming Lake at key points, connecting the artwork to the natural landscape outside. The Gate of Dispelling Clouds marks a ceremonial entrance to the Tower of Buddhist Incense on Longevity Hill. Flanking the gate are bronze guardian lions, emblems of strength and vigilance. The male lion, with his paw resting on a ball, represents imperial authority over the world, watching all who pass through this gate. This long staircase leads from the Gate of Dispelling Clouds up Longevity Hill. Visitors climbing the steep steps are rewarded with sweeping views of the lake and surrounding gardens. From across Kunming Lake, the Tower of Buddhist Incense rises 197 feet above the lake. At the summit of Longevity Hill, a stone bridge crosses the Mirror of the Heart Pond, whose calm waters symbolize clarity and reflection. Above the Hall of the Sea of Wisdom, you can see the Tower of Buddhist Incense rising in majestic glory. Commissioned by Emperor Qianlong in the mid-18th century, the Tower of Buddhist Incense stands on the top of Longevity Hill as a symbolic centerpiece of the Summer Palace. In 1860, the tower was destroyed during the Second Opium War, and it was rebuilt between 1887 and 1893. It stands approximately 135 feet tall, sitting on a low stone base. Dowager Empress Cixi regularly visited the tower to offer incense and pray, highlighting its spiritual significance. Inside the tower stands the 1,000-armed, 1,000-eyed Bodhisattva Guanyin, 16.5 feet tall, gilded bronze statue. Weighing about 5 tons, it was cast during the reign of Emperor Wanli of the Ming dynasty. Dowager Empress Cixi and other members of the imperial court would burn incense and make offerings here, especially on the 1st and 15th day of each lunar month. This multi-headed, multi-armed form symbolizes Guanyin's ability to see and aid countless beings simultaneously. She faces south, which is the direction traditionally associated with compassion and virtue in the Chinese culture, reflecting her role as a Buddhist goddess of mercy and compassion. Next door is the beautiful Chuanlun Zangge, typically translated into English as the Pavilion of the Revolving Sutra Wheel. From the top of Longevity Hill, we can see the 17-arch bridge and Nanhu Island. We'll take a closer look in a little bit. After coming down from Longevity Hill, we come to Wenchangge, the Pavilion of Literary Prosperity. Built in 1750 under Emperor Qianlong, it served as one of the grand gate towers of the Summer Palace, overlooking the east bank of Kunming Lake. Inside once stood a bronze statue of Wenchang, the Taoist god of literature and culture, from whom the pavilion takes its name. Though sometimes described as dividing the religious and administrative areas of the palace, it's better seen as a transition point, linking the spiritual world of Longevity Hill with the cultural and administrative quarters below. Built in 1750 as an imperial office, Emperor Qianlong named this the Hall of Diligent Governance, as a reminder that even within the beauty of the gardens, state duties must not be forgotten. Destroyed in 1860 during the Second Opium War, it was rebuilt and renamed the Hall of Benevolence and Longevity in 1886. This comes from the Confucius belief that a benevolent person enjoys long life. It is guarded by a qilin, a mythical creature honored in Chinese culture because it's considered lucky. This bronze statue was cast in the 1750s to bring good luck and for protection by scaring off evil spirits. This qilin has a dragon's head, deer antlers, ox hooves, a lion's tail, and it is covered with scales. As with most of the buildings in the Summer Palace, the Hall of Joyful Longevity was originally built in 1750, and like most of these wooden structures, it burned down in 1860 during the Second Opium War. While it was originally built as the residence for the Dowager Empress, the Emperor's widowed mother, it was rebuilt in 1888 to be the residence of the Dowager Empress Cixi. Walking away from the imperial residences, I found Kunming Lake very picturesque. In the distance, we can see the 17-arch bridge and Nanhu Island, also known as the South Lake Island. It's called that because it's on the south side of the lake. As we continue to scan the lake, we see Longevity Hill with the Tower of Buddhist Incense, the Hall of the Sea of Wisdom to the right of it, and the Pavilion of Precious Clouds in front of that. Originally built in 1752, this is known as the Eight Directions Pavilion because of its octagonal shape, and it serves as a lookout. You can see the 17-arch bridge right next to it, and you can look around at the scenery surrounding Kunming Lake. This brings us to Solitary Beauty Pavilion, which resembles a boat floating on the lake. In reality, it's an over-the-water pavilion, allowing people to enjoy the lake and the surrounding scenery from a cozy boat-like structure. Now we've come to the 17-arch bridge, which spans Kunming Lake to Nanhu Island. As you cross over the bridge, it is customary to rub the head of one of the lion statues just for good luck. There are 544 distinctive lion statues lining the sides of the bridge. Built in the early 1750s, the bridge is 164 yards long and nearly 9 yards wide. While crossing the bridge, one might notice the center of the bridge is designed differently than the rest and resembles a straight path. Only the emperor could once walk along this middle path. Now tourists do so freely. I see boats sailing on Kunming Lake as I slow down to take a look around. There are beautiful views all around, including the Tower of Buddhist Incense in the distance, the iconic structure that symbolizes the Summer Palace. Although they say this creature is a lion, I think it kind of resembles a dragon, or maybe it's a qilin. What do you think? Leave me a comment. Climbing these stairs takes us to Guangrun Lingyu Temple, also known as the Temple of the Dragon King. It was built as a place for the emperor to honor the Dragon King and pray for rain for good harvests. Apparently, some emperors would watch boats on the lake from here. Nanhu Island also has a covered walkway, reminiscent of the long corridor, complete with a painted ceiling. The railings, parapets, and lion statues of the bridge are made of white marble, while the arches supporting the base are built from granite. This combination ensured both strength and an appearance worthy of an imperial garden.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for traveling along with me. I always appreciate your support. Until next time, 再见. Bye bye.